Late last week, I did a video comparing my Tonex pedal to my Kemper stage. Now, what I did, just to give you a recap on the methodology, I set up my Marshall JCM 800 Studio Classic and dialed in a tone that I liked, and I mic'd that up, sent that through and recorded it to a point where I was very happy with the tone. Then I figured I am going to capture a Tonex tone model and then capture a Kemper profile of that exact same signal chain. After the fact, volume match them and let you hear them side by side with the actual amp reamped with the exact same performance. So I captured a DI performance of a guitar riff. I reamped that out through the amplifier. Then I reamped it through the profile I created on the Kemper profiler. And then I also reamped that through the Tonex pedal. So you got the same number of digital to analog and analog to digital conversions. I tried to keep everything as close as possible. And I made sure that those were volume matched to within 0.1 dB, as close as I could possibly get them. I thought it would be kind of cool to do a blind test where I played you the real amp, then clip A, real amp, clip B, longer versions of the riff, and then shorter ones so you can kind of really hone in. And I got quite a number of interesting comments and a fair number of guesses as well to which people thought were which. So today I'm going to reveal the results of that blind test and what everybody's thoughts were. This was one of the most definitive of blind tests I've ever done. Oftentimes, as happened earlier in the week, I did a Tonex versus Helix video, which really was kind of silly because it's really kind of comparing apples to oranges, but I thought it would be fun. And that was even kind of more a 50-50 type of thing. You know, just as many people guessed right as they did wrong as far as which one was Helix and which one was Tonex. But that was always fun and interesting. But this one is a little bit more accurate because we're actually dealing with two devices that are trying to capture a particular amp, speaker cabinet, signal chain, etc. And this one was very definitive and it was very interesting. Now, my feelings behind this were very similar to a lot of the folks who listened, but at the same time, we are kind of maybe splitting hairs a little bit. I don't even know if splitting hairs is the right terminology, but these are both very close. Both are incredibly usable. If somebody handed me the Kemper stage to play gigs or do sessions with, I would immediately pretty much just set it up, start playing with a tone I enjoyed and forget about it and get on to the business of making music as I would if I was playing through the real amps or if I was playing through Tonex pedals. So really, I don't think this really means anything in the end. As I've said before, I feel we're very fortunate as guitar players to live in the day and age that we are, that we have so many amazing choices and so many pieces of equipment that can give us inspiration and enjoyment, which is really what it's all about and what music should be about. So let's see what everybody thought. Let's look at the results. And I hope you guys find this interesting. So I'm going to give the results in an interesting way here, a way that I think makes the most sense. I'm going to have two different categories. Obviously, we're going to cover which clip was which and which clip most people thought was Tonex or Kemper, right? So was clip A Tonex or was it Kemper? Clip B, was it Tonex or was it Kemper? We'll talk about that after. What I wanted to talk about first, though, was the other question a lot of folks answered. Was clip A more like the real amp or was clip B more like the real amp? Because remember, in the test, I played the real amp, which was just reamped with the same performance, volume matched, and compared it against clip A, which was the same performance reamped, and clip B, which was the same performance reamped. Before I tell you which clip was which device, this was the most interesting result. For the question of who thought clip A sounded more like the real amp, only 2 people guessed that. So 2 people thought clip A was more like the real amp. As far as clip B being more like the real amp, 16 people felt that clip B was more like the real amp. So that is one of the most definitive results I've ever received in any of these blind tests I've done. And I tend to have to agree with this. I think clip B was pretty much indistinguishable from the real amp clip, whereas clip A was extremely close. But there was almost, I felt, a little tiny bit more gain maybe and something different going on in the high end. Not even that it was bad necessarily. If you hadn't actually compared it side to side with the real amp, nobody would probably even question it. They just play through it and go, sounds fine to me, and be happy playing it. So I don't think in the end this is like super important, but it was a very definitive result that I tended to agree with. So now that really piques the interest of which was which. Was clip A Kemper or Tonex, or was clip B Kemper or Tonex? Well, let's go to the guesses. So of the folks who guessed, 7 people thought that clip A was Tonex pedal. And as far as clip B, 11 people thought that clip B was Tonex pedal. So still a little bit heavier weighted more towards clip B being Tonex, but a lot more even than the folks who felt clip B was more like the real amp. So I think there was a lot of maybe Kemper users who were hoping that clip B was actually Kemper, because I think it's pretty definitive that it did, at least in this situation, sound more like the real amp. So what was the answer? Well, the answer is clip B was in fact Tonex pedal and clip A was the Kemper stage. So take it for whatever it's worth. I'm not trying to start arguments or annoy anybody with this, but I kept this as close as I could. I did my Kemper profile. I refined it as much as I possibly could, got it as close as I could to the real track, and Tonex just captured an advanced capture, and that's what it sounded like. So very interesting results. All right, so there you have it. There's the results. Again, I don't want anybody to get too upset about this. At the end of the day, I think that both of these clips were very close. And as I already mentioned, totally usable. And I think unless we are doing this really close comparison to the real track, volume match and all that, we probably wouldn't even know any better. I think both were very close and both devices did an incredible job. Some people did bring up the fact that Tonex is so much cheaper than Kemper, and that definitely is going to be something that folks have to take into account, I think, because obviously there aren't endless resources to spend on music gear for most people. So we do have to be very selective of what we get. So if that's something that's important to you, I think you're going to be very happy with Tonex pedal. But I think both of these devices are really great units. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Again, no arguing. I don't really want to start anything here with this. This was just more, again, for some fun and to maybe shine some light on comparing these two incredible devices. Today, I'm going to leave you actually with the demo videos for 2 new collections I've released for both Kemper and Tonex. And this is of my incredible, which is up here to my left off camera, my Fuchs ODS Classic amp. I really love this. So I've reamped the same performance of this little Robin Ford inspired piece through the Kemper rig collections and through my Tonex tone model package, and these are called the D Classic Ultimate Tone Model. So I'll leave you with those. The links are below. If you like what you hear with those, you can grab those from my website for either Kemper or Tonex. And I think regardless of which one you grab, you're going to be very happy with them. I'm really addicted to these tones and love playing through them. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think would get some use or enjoyment out of watching it. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back very soon with some more. Thanks again so much for sharing your time with me. Enjoy the music on the way out. Ciao for now.